Here's everything we know about the new RTX 4090 and the 4080. Nvidia has finally officially unveiled these two cards during their GeForce Beyond livestream, and well, they're interesting. First of all, they're claiming of up to a 4 times performance boost, but just hold on, unfortunately this likely has to do with ray tracing workloads in DLSS. Still very cool, but not quite so revolutionary that all of our old GPUs would be instantly turned into e-waste. Just like these tech news, they are fully recyclable, so you should definitely follow if, you don't hate the planet. The cards will be quite expensive, with the 4090 starting at $1599 US, and with the 16 gig 4080 at $1199 and the 12 gig 4080 at $899 US. Not to mention that all the leaks show that these will also consume a ton of power, which along with the rising energy costs makes everything more expensive for this generation. So a pretty interesting launch from Nvidia, and I don't know, I'm kind of disappointed. Now, of course, we don't have benchmarks yet. We don't actually know how exactly these cards perform at this point. But what we do know from sort of the upcoming leaks is that the 4090 should be able to top out at about 660 watts, which is quite ridiculous. And I think the 4080 will also be like around 350 watts or something like that, possibly even more than that. Which you actually have to take in account these days. For instance, in Europe, electricity costs have gone up extremely in the past few months, and around everywhere else around the world as well, pretty much. So they are claiming a 4 times performance boost so far, which I don't really like these claims. These very likely have everything to do with ray tracing and DLSS, because getting a 4 times performance boost in just regular FPS and stuff like that, it doesn't really make sense. It would be great if it would actually happen, but I mean, it's let's just say it's very highly unlikely, to say the least. And the pricing has also gone up, even though we are sort of, there still is a shortage, but everything should be a little bit better. Not to mention that the demand for graphics cards should be down as well, just because of the overproduction of the 30 series, because of the crypto crash and all of that. So these are very high prices, and I am not a big fan. Sure, 4090, 4090 Ti, these top SKUs, charge as much as you want for these top-end cards that creative professionals and such will be able to purchase. However, putting the 4080, the 80 SKU up even more to $900, it's quite crazy. Like the 60 series Nvidia cards, like the GTX 760 and stuff like that, that used to be a sub $300 card. It was the mid-range card to go for. And I mean, if the 4080, the 12 gig version, is starting at $900, what is that going to mean for the pricing for the 4070 and then for the 4060 and stuff like that? So the pricing is unfortunately just skyrocketing, going up and up as well. And it would be very refreshing to see a new generation come out, and Nvidia claiming that, hey, we have reduced the power draw, so these things are more efficient now. You don't need to upgrade your power supply, and you're also getting a performance boost. But I mean, it seems with Intel, AMD, Nvidia, with everyone, we are getting extra performance, which is really cool, but they're also just cramming way more watts into these things. I mean, if you just think about the new components that you're going to be able to buy, if your 4090 will be able to push like 660 watts under full load, along with the new i9 Intel processors that are apparently going to go up to 340 watts, even AMD's Ryzen 9s up to like 240 watts. I mean, these are crazy high wattages, like very easily. When you're going to have a top-end PC, you are basically going to have a 1000 watt heater next to you when you're going to have all of these top components. So the thing is, I basically couldn't run these components in my current room because I don't have an AC in this room. I have an AC in a room behind me, but the airflow doesn't really scale so well with these two rooms, so this room can get really hot and that one will still be like very cold. But yeah, I mean, for so many watts, you literally are gonna need an air conditioner in the summer. You might even need to have an air conditioner in the winter. If you're in a smaller room, maybe you don't get a ton of airflow through your window. Sure, you could have your window open all the time, but I mean, 1,000 watts is a lot. I mean, I have a 2,000 watt heater in my bathroom, and like I left the window open throughout the winter a few times by mistake usually, and still in 15 minutes is really hot in there, you know. So if you have a 1,000 watt computer rendering something throughout the entire day, in some sort of a normally sized room, you are definitely gonna need an air conditioner for sure.